Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we're diving into something absolutely massive. We are looking at one of the most fascinating youth integration initiatives designed for the Philippines' 20th Congress. It's officially known as the Gen Z Princess Heartline Third Batch Grand Reveal. Now, whether you follow Philippine pop culture super closely or you're just kind of interested in how giant cultural coalitions are structured and leveraged, you're going to find this incredibly insightful. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so let's jump right in and see exactly who makes up this grand reveal. 168. That's the magic number today. Exactly 168 Gen Z members were brought together for the single initiative. I mean, think about it. When you try organizing any group, coordinating nearly 170 high-profile individuals is literally a logistical marvel. This isn't just a handful of youth ambassadors. We're talking about a highly structured, massive assembly of representatives. It's huge. So to really understand what this roster represents, we need to look at its foundation. The Princess Heartline Third Batch is a global and national Gen Z initiative, and it was organized specifically for the 20th Congress of the Philippines by Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano and House Speaker Boji Dai. Basically, this represents an immense structural effort to bridge popular youth culture directly with a national legislative body. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the 20th Congress Grand Reveal, then move into the featured and main rosters, check out the official and extended members, look at the legacy and final rosters, and wrap it all up with the favorites collection.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the 20th Congress Grand Reveal.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this whole thing is structured. These 168 members aren't just randomly pooled together in one giant list. They are perfectly divided into exactly 7 distinct tiers. Every single category, featured, main, official, extended, legacy, final, and my favorites, contains exactly 24 members. 7 groups of 24, giving us that grand total of 168. This kind of uniform segmentation makes a massive roster like this actually digestible, and it ensures every single person belongs to a specific, recognized tier.
Moving right along, let's hit Section 2, Featured and Main Rosters.
Okay, the featured roster is literally the tip of the spear. We're talking absolute heavy hitters here. Names like Catherine Bernardo, Liza Soberano, Julia Barreto, Ivana Alawi, and Jane De Leon. These aren't just participants, right? These are some of the most recognizable, influential figures in Philippine pop culture today. By putting them right up front in the featured category, the organizers instantly draw massive public and media attention to the whole 20th Congress initiative. It is a brilliant, highly effective hook.
When you see the full featured roster laid out, it's just a concentrated block of pure star power. We're talking primetime television leads, blockbuster film stars, viral sensations, the whole shebang. Every single individual in this tier comes with massive personal social media followings and cultural footprints. This group essentially bridges the gap between traditional media dominance and modern digital influence, which instantly lends high visibility, mainstream credibility to the wider political initiative.
And the momentum doesn't stop there. The main names tier proves the star power absolutely does not drop off. It just kind of shifts its focus to highly engaged youth energy. This proves the 168 count isn't just filler. It's packed with primary influencers, featuring talents like Andre Brillantes and AC Bonificio who drive heavy engagement across platforms like TikTok and Instagram. They might appeal to slightly different subsets of Gen Z, but their ability to mobilize fan bases and shape online trends, that's exactly what makes this coalition so potent.
Next up, Section 3, Official and Extended Members.
So, the official list expands the roster's reach by bringing in this beautifully diverse mix of rising stars and established names. We've got figures from Eliza Borromeo to Kanata Tapia, plus rising stars like Atasha Muhalak and Yuki Takahashi. This formally stamps these 24 individuals as core representatives across multiple facets of media. It's really where the coalition deepens its roots, making sure the Gen Z demographic is represented by musicians, digital creators, and emerging cultural voices who have incredibly loyal followings.
Then we have the extended roster, which pushes the initiative's footprint even further. And extended is the perfect word here, because it pulls in talents that appeal to totally different niches, regions, and international audiences. This ties back perfectly to that global and national mandate of the third batch we talked about earlier. By extending the borders of the coalition, the 20th Congress ensures its messaging can resonate with a much wider, geographically diverse youth audience.
All right, let's roll into Section 4, Legacy and Final Rosters.
I absolutely love the deliberate contrast happening here. On one hand, you have the legacy roster highlighting established young names with enduring track records. Think Francine Diaz and Jillian Ward.
On the other hand, the final roster anchors the core groups with really transformative figures like Shia Vigor and Miles Ocampo. It's this calculated balance of legacy success mixed with definitive modern additions. It really highlights the strategic depth of the coalition. Looking at the full 24-member legacy roster, it's pretty amazing because these are individuals who have practically grown up in the public eye. They perfectly represent the transition of youth into young adulthood. And this group carries a really unique weight because their audiences have aged right up alongside them. Tapping into this demographic means reaching active citizens who feel a long-standing, nostalgic connection to these specific personalities.
And that brings us to the final roster, which completes our core categorized groups. With this, 144 Gen Z figures have been meticulously organized to represent the youth voice for the 20th Congress. It just reinforces the sheer volume of cultural capital being mobilized here. By the time we reach the 6th tier, the comprehensive nature of the initiative is undeniable. But there is still one specific slice left.
Which leads us to Section 5, the Favorites Collection.
This final block beautifully rounds out the 168. By capping off the grand reveal with a favorites list, the organizers inject this cool layer of personal curation and high-impact star power. It includes heavy hitters like Gabi Garcia and Zainam Harakay to really seal the entire Princess Heartline third batch. It's definitely not an afterthought. It's a strategic finishing touch that ensures the coalition ends on a note of intense, hyper-engaged fandom.
So what does this all mean? We've just explored an incredibly structured, frankly, massive list of 168 influential young women, organized with absolute precision. Seeing all of these pop culture giants grouped into 7 distinct rosters leaves us with a fascinating dynamic to consider. The sheer scale of Cayetano and Durai's global and national mobilization is undeniable. How this cultural capital translates into actual legislative or national impact is something we're all going to have to watch very closely. It really begs the question, how will a 168-member Gen Z coalition of this unprecedented magnitude reshape traditional youth representation and political outreach for the 20th Congress? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I'll see you next time.